is an illustrated summary of the news. It'll be followed by the latest film of events and happenings at home and abroad.
Hello, I'm Lucy Potter, and welcome to the news in London.
No, that won't do. There's no getting away from the date.
OK. Hello, and welcome to the news. It's the 7th of November, 1947.
And the time? The time matters too.
Well then, hello, and welcome to the news at noon. Today is the 7th of November, 1947.
But it's important to be more...
Fine! Welcome to the news at 12:01 and 12 seconds. It's the 7th of November, 1947. Our main story...
You didn't say the place.
It's the news. We're in London. It's the 7th of November. It's 12:01 and 37 seconds. Our main story today is the continuing territorial dispute following Mountbatten's partition in August.
August 17th.
Everyone knows. Now, we're joined by our reporter in the field. How's it looking out there, Marlowe?
It's not looking good, I'm afraid, Lucy.
Can you tell us more about how it's developing?
It is believed that over 12.5 million people have been displaced, with between 200,000 and 1 million killed thus far.
And what's the main cause for all this?
Well, the violence had started before partition. We should all remember that last August, during the Muslim League's Direct Action Day in Calcutta, more than 5,000 people were killed and many more injured. Following the pressures of this action, ideas for the new states were established. We British, of course, would have preferred to keep the state together. And after all this dispute, it seems we had the right idea ourselves. But so far, all those millions who have made the journey to cross the borders, and so reflect in their religious beliefs, have been met with violence and bloodshed.
So, Marlowe, have you ever seen such widespread violence? Do you think there could be any reconciliation between the two main groups?
I'm not sure. Over here at the moment, it seems like there will be no end to the death toll.
Well, back in the studio, we are joined by someone who may be able to give us answers to this question. We are now joined by our political analyst, Desdemona.
Hi, Lucy.
Obviously, major trouble in India at the moment. It's inescapable.
India and Pakistan now, Lucy.
Yes, India and Pakistan. As Marlowe has told us, there have been problems in the Indian subcontinent since last year. So let's go back to the root of this issue. Do you think there is any way that all of this could have been avoided?
Well, it all comes down to the question of who you think is to blame. On the one hand, some feel that Britain is at fault, while on the other hand, some say India. Firstly, the British problem. The haste and mistakes of our nation are believed to have led to the cruelties of the partition. Since independence was declared prior to the actual partition, it was up to the new governments of India and Pakistan to keep public order. Britain did not provide proper aid. However, we should consider that this was the wish of the Indian political parties for over a decade now. Negotiations have been ongoing for about 12 months, and the parties of the country have been heavily involved. The authorities were aware of the difficulties and did not prepare sufficiently for the date. They have failed their own nation. We need to consider these faults on both sides and decide if one is more culpable than the other, or if both East and West are here united in equal blame. One thing for sure, religion is a powerful tool in politics worldwide.
Thank you for that insight, Desdemona. Now back to Marlowe in the field.
Now we're going to meet with Mustafa, our new foreign correspondent. We don't know much about him or where he's from, but he's quite an exotic and mysterious character. Are there any possible solutions to resolve the confrontations, Mustafa?
Well, I heard a story about a man that fell in love with a woman, having seen only small segments of her body at different times. He fell in love slowly but gradually, and yet worried that when he saw her altogether, the result would not be beautiful. We may say that this is how the subcontinent situation lies at the moment. Everyone is worried about how the outcome will be, and yet there are only small parts of the body being seen and reported. But when we see it as a whole, and when India and Pakistan see each other as parts of a whole subcontinent, then there will be unity once more. Together everything functions better. The area is clouded by the sheet at the moment, and the inhabitants are unable to see how the two countries can work together. It will be realised soon, and the British should wait patiently.
Thank you, Mustafa. Back to the studio.
The problem of division in India and Pakistan, then. We have told you the truth, but no sane human ever trusts someone else's version of events more than his own. The reality of India ceases to exist, so that everything becomes possible except what we are told is the case. So the rumours of the India subcontinent grow as the violence increases. Will we ever have solid facts or just our own memories? After the weather, the amazing story of Robinson Crusoe, rescued from a desert island after 27 years.
Good day. I'm here with your daily forecast, just so you're always prepared for the worst the world can throw at you. Yesterday, Venice had finally recovered from the shock of deceit, but it seems other places now have incoming issues. If we look to New York, we can see a large band of isolation moving up the American coastline from Antigua. The system looks as if it will break up once it is adjusted to its new home, although there could be further difficulties ahead. Elsewhere, the Congo appears to be in for a wave of high pressure from possible racial insensitivity. Mystery is ever there. Back to Europe, and a new front of misunderstanding is centering on the English capital, though it may head south and change the systems in Africa after a period of unseasonable weather. Meanwhile, the flood of fragmentation that has been plaguing the Indian subcontinent shows no signs of abating soon. Next week, though, we're looking at blue skies and a much-needed holiday for all.